Today we have Manoj with us. Hello, Lieutenant Colonel Manoj. Could you please tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Gitika, for having me here today. I am Lieutenant Colonel Manoj. I am a retired Army officer. I have been working with the Madras Regiment 17. Madras is my battalion, and I retired in December 2021. Took PMR from the services, and now I am presently working with Adani Power Limited, Udupi. It is a 1200 megawatt thermal power plant located in the coastal Karnataka region. So this is a brief introduction about mine. And Gitika, we are classmates.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Manoj, after the horrific incident that happened in Kolkata, the doctors have been demanding a central law for themselves. What is your opinion on this?
Okay, Gitika, it is a very, very, challenging times these days. Even we have emerged to be one of the strongest country in the world, and we are actually influencing so many geopolitical decisions taken at the highest level, wherein in United Nations, and now we are part of so many organizations. But when we talk about basics like women's security, sadly, we are one of the poorest faring countries as far as our rating is concerned. People who are actually, having a lot of respects towards the Indian culture, towards, the traditions, the Hindu traditions, the way we treat women and children in our Hindu culture is not being portrayed by the events which are happening nowadays. Uh, so coming to your question, specific, like, do you require a specific law or provisions in the current law for protecting women health workers against the sexual offenses or any offenses against them? So in my view, there are guidelines which are already existing in the current the Nyaya Sanhita, also in IPC, wherein there are provisions which, if followed strictly, so, in my view, the IPC 354 Alpha and 354, then there is something known as Vishakha guidelines, which we follow in the army, and then there are various other things which is actually various committees which are actually existing in any industrial setup to prevent crime against the woman, and there is no specific requirement of one more law for the women health workers.
Do you feel doctors are more vulnerable to crimes?
Yes, when we are talking about doctors, there are chances that at times when you are dealing with depressed people, or when you are actually dealing with some mentally sick person, or when they are when the law enforcement agencies, police, and other law enforcing agencies are bringing some patients who are actually having some kind of negative or perverted mentality against the woman, or especially if we talk about the COVID time, when there were many restrictions for the security people, also for the common man also. At times when these people are admitted in the hospital, women workers, women health workers, that includes doctors, nurses, and house conservancy staffs and all, they are prone to some kind of assaults, some kind of attack on them, wherein a perverted person can definitely try to outrage their modesty, or try to do something which is against the social norms. So yes, of course, there are chances, but it can happen at home also. My question is, it can happen at home also. It can happen at office premises also. These days, ladies are working, late night in various industries, IT industries and all. So, very well said, Gitika. There are chances of women getting attacked, but of course, I feel the case is same with all the ladies, not especially with the hospital staff or health workers.
Um, Manoj, now there was an article I was reading. That article stated that there are certain doctors who are saying that in some of the hospitals, the CCTV cameras do not function. or the lights aren't sufficient at night. There are about 6 to 7 gates, but security is available only on 2 to 3 gates. What do you feel about this?
Yeah, Geetika, a very good question, a very pertinent question, and you are asking the subject matter expert on that. I am a security professional. Now I am the head of Department of Security at Adani Power Limited, Udupi. There are challenges. See, every business entity works on profits. So over a period of time, the manpower cost is so overwhelming that it becomes very difficult to sustain the business in a profitable way. The same thing goes for the hospital setup also. So when you have to run a hospital, you need to, prune down the expenditure part, wherein you want to provide the best treatment to the patient who is coming to you with some kind of ailment and in a very affordable manner. So if you want to increase your profitability by not penalizing the patient, at times, because of the rising manpower cost, it becomes very, very difficult to put guards at each and every gate. For a layman, for a normal civilian, it becomes very easy to point out the hospital administration or the management part why there are no guards at the gate. At the same time, we must understand the very, very pertinent question or very, very pertinent issues with respect to budget and with respect to the profitability part, with respect to the safety and security part. These days, security is beyond, much, much beyond from gun, guards, and gates. We used to rely on gun, guards, and gates for providing us physical security. But now things have moved far beyond from the gun, guards, and gates. So for that, we require huge amount of capital. Any business entity who is into providing services, let it be tourism, let it be travel, let it be any government organization, private organization, factories, hospitals, they all are there to serve the common people. But there are constraints. There are budgetary constraints. There are manpower constraints. There are constraints with respect to layout of the building. There are constraints with respect to the type of people whom you are interacting or who your customers are. In this particular RG car case, we must give some kind of, I'm not supporting hospital staff, administration staff, or I'm not supporting any particular person. But there are certain things which we should look impartially when we are talking about providing security to any, for that matter, even a man or a woman against theft, not only sexual crimes. There are so many offenses which can happen with patients. So there are challenges, Geetika. There are challenges in terms of budgets. There are challenges in terms of operational expenses, capital expenditures. There are challenges in integrating the technology part. See, when you are actually bringing in certain systems, technology also comes with that system. So is your complete infrastructure ready to accept those technological evolution? Or are your manpower capable enough to handle those, state of the art CCTV and access control systems? So all these questions needs to be looked into, and it cannot come in a, big bang way. Like the moment you press a button and everything will be set up, it cannot happen like that. All things come in a phased manner. So that is what I wanted to just express as a security professional. It becomes very difficult and challenging to a security head, or for that matter, a security guard, to look all the corners of the assets which you are protecting. So sometimes faults do happen, and it is human to err. That's all I
Sex,
want to say.
yeah, sexual assaults are on a rise. Why do you think it is on a rise?
There are very, very, valid reasons, or you can say a kind of cultural shift which is happening these days. Actually, our population has risen so much that people aspirations have grown leap and bounds. Though it has got nothing to do with the sexual offense per se, but at the same time, the number of criminals have also gone up. However, we have not been able to match up the pace wherein we can actually evolve a system, or we can make a cultural shift in the thinking of our youth, in the thinking of our population, to actually respect women and children who are vulnerable to these kind of offenses. If I just want to quote some statistical data, in the year 2021, there were almost 31,900 rape cases which were reported. Again, I am telling reported in India. So, if you ask me, is it the original figure? I will say no. At least three times more cases would have happened in our country and it would have gone unreported. Similarly, there are 75,000 rapes, that is, sorry, molestation in various parts and various corners of the country. There are 53,844 POXO cases against the children. I am talking about the statistics of 2021, which is there in the intranet and which has been collated over a period of time by various agencies. Now, when we come about 2022, there are 31,500 cases, so very less in number of cases, which has actually reduced. And many-fold as far as offenses related to molestation and POXO are concerned.
Thank you so much for your valuable time. We really
Thank you, Gitika. You are
appreciate.
doing a great job.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.